And now we arrive at the sixth and completing key that brings every piece of this sacred framework together into a living way of being. Earth friends, this key is about embodying and sustaining the flow state so completely that you become a steady lighthouse for yourself and for the entire planetary awakening. You live as a clear conduit for the new Earth energies that are now active and available to every one of you. This means you keep your inner channels open through simple, daily choices of compassion toward yourself and others, gratitude that rises naturally from the heart, and acts of service that feel light and joyful rather than obligatory. At the same time, you claim the fresh energies arriving with the equinox balance by making a quiet inner decision each day that you are ready to receive and hold more of the light codes and grid support that want to move through you. When you live this way, the flow state stops being something you visit now and then and becomes your steady home base. Compassion keeps the heart area soft and open so resistance cannot find a place to settle. Gratitude acts like a gentle magnet that draws even more reasons to feel good and aligned. Service flows out of you without effort because you are no longer separate from the larger movement. You see a need, and the inspired step arises on its own. The claiming of the new energies happens in the background of these choices. You do not need special rituals. You simply wake up each morning and say inside yourself, I am here as a clear conduit for the balanced light that is strengthening the grid right now. Feel that decision settle in your body, and the claiming is done. The supportive currents respond immediately by keeping your system clear and magnetic. Vigilance is the quiet guardian that helps you stay in this embodied state day after day. It is not a tense kind of watching. It is a loving and regular check-in with your own energy. Several times throughout the day, you pause for just a few seconds and ask, how does my system feel right now? Is there any tightness or heaviness anywhere? If the answer is yes, you meet it with the same compassion you would offer a dear friend. You breathe into the spot and release the pushback without any self-criticism. This gentle release keeps small contractions from growing into bigger blocks. At the same time, you celebrate every synchronicity that appears as clear confirmation that alignment is active and real. A parking space opens at the exact moment you need it. A helpful message arrives from someone you had not contacted in weeks. A solution pops into your mind while you are doing something completely unrelated. Each one of these moments is the universe saying, yes, you are aligned. When you pause and truly feel the joy of that confirmation, the flow grows even stronger and more stable. As you sustain this embodied flow, something beautiful begins to happen on the collective level. You become a living lighthouse whose steady light reaches far beyond your personal life. Others feel it in your presence, even if they cannot name what is different. Conversations become easier. People around you start to relax and open up without knowing why. Your sustained alignment actually helps weave new strands into the planetary grid that is strengthening so rapidly at this equinox time. Every time you choose compassion instead of judgment, a thread of unity is added. Every moment of genuine gratitude sends a pulse of balance through the energy lines that connect all life. Every small act of service carries the new Earth frequencies into places that are still waking up. You are not doing this work alone. The grid itself is holding you and amplifying your light so that the contribution multiplies naturally. This is how individual flow becomes planetary harmony. This is how oneness moves from a beautiful idea into a lived reality that touches every corner of the world. One of the simplest and most powerful ways to anchor all of this is to begin each day with a short heart alignment and a clear intention to embody the flow state. You do not need to get out of bed or sit in a special posture. The moment you wake up, place one hand over the center of your chest and take 3 or 4 slow breaths. Feel the warmth that lives there. Then speak the intention inside yourself or out loud. Today, I choose to live as a clear conduit. I welcome the balanced energies of the equinox, and I allow flow to move through every part of my day. Let the words settle for a moment and notice how your body responds. Many of you find that this single practice sets a tone that carries through the busiest hours. Challenges still arise, but they meet a system that is already aligned and ready to release them quickly. The intention acts like a gentle anchor that keeps you returning to the natural current, even when outer events shift quickly. Beloved light bearers, the second daily invitation is to share your light through community or creative acts, in whatever way feels alive to you. This sharing is not about teaching or fixing anyone. It is simply letting the flow that is moving through you touch others in natural ways. You might write a message that encourages a friend who is struggling. You might create something with your hands or your words that carries the feeling of ease and possibility. You might join a group activity or simply smile and listen fully to someone who needs to be heard. Each of these acts sends ripples outward. Your sustained flow state becomes a quiet invitation for others to remember their own alignment. The more you share in this light and easy way, the stronger the collective field becomes. Communities begin to feel the difference. Creative solutions appear where there was once only tension. The new Earth reality gets anchored, one genuine interaction at a time. Your light does not diminish when you share it. It multiplies because the grid is designed to amplify unity and harmony. Let us also now look at how this embodiment shows up in ordinary moments so you can see its practical power. Suppose a day begins with the heart alignment and intention. Later, you notice a small pushback rising while you are in a meeting. Instead of letting it grow, you check your state with compassion and release it in a few breaths. A synchronicity appears moments later when the right words come through someone else that solved the issue. You celebrate that confirmation quietly inside, and the flow continues. Or imagine you feel called to share your light by offering help with a neighbor's project. The act feels joyful rather than draining because you are coming from the embodied state. The conversation that follows opens a new connection that benefits both of you and ripples into the wider community. These everyday examples show that sustaining the flow state is not a special spiritual practice reserved for quiet times. It is a way of moving through all of life that turns ordinary hours into living anchors for the new Earth. The equinox energies are supporting this lighthouse embodiment in ways that were not as available in earlier cycles. The balance of light and dark, plus the fresh DNA patterns and stronger grid, make it easier to stay clear and steady. The light codes arriving now actually help your system hold the flow state for longer periods without effort. Old patterns that used to pull you out of alignment now dissolve more quickly when met with vigilance and compassion. Your role as a beacon becomes more natural because the planetary field is already moving in the same direction. You are not trying to create something new on your own. You are simply adding your steady light to a grid that is already lighting up across the planet. This shared momentum makes the collective harmony grow faster and more visibly. You can feel it in the way people respond to each other and in the way solutions appear for larger challenges that once seemed impossible.